and basically like it's like a fucking like job. Like you literally like I don't know how to describe it, but I lost.
No, you
a
have
lot
to
of money.
pay to even start playing.
Yeah, you have to pay to start and thousands of dollars, and like people are way richer and they have way more money and way more time than you, and so
Just pay to win.
Yeah, ended up losing like probably I put like 10K in, lost all of that.
Oh my god.
Was depressed for quite a while.
Wait, was the 10K into that horse racing game on Eve?
Zedrun. Oh my god, dude.
Oh, I remember
so
that.
I was playing this horse racing game, and then I got my brothers to give me money so I can buy horses, and then I got them to buy horses, and that game was awful because you could breed two horses together and then make another horse.
No, because you know how people in real life bet on like
Kentucky
equestrian
Derby.
racing.
Yeah.
It's like a
but it's like that one, but online.
Yeah.
There's an online derby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a really cool concept, but the issue was that these people had these like super fast fucking horses, and they bred them like a bunch of times.
Welcome back to another episode of the Levity podcast. I'm your host Phil, with other host here, Taemin.
Hi.
And today we have a very special guest and a long-term friend of mine's, Aditya Mehta.
Hello.
Woo! A little sexy
Thank you for
little
having me.
Aditya.
Yeah, so just a short introduction for you. So we've known each other since college, right?
Yeah. Freshman year of college.
Freshman year, and then we were roommates our sophomore year,
Yes.
and then we just kept in touch afterwards, and like now, look at us now, dude.
And I met you when I was like eight and a half.
Yeah. Really early on.
Yeah, super early on. But we've known each other since like probably like.
Oh, you went to LES?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's been probably like 15 years. But geez, what a long road we've been on, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, like nowadays, how would you categorize yourself? Like you're an entrepreneur. Like, would you call yourself a serial entrepreneur?
Not serial, just regular entrepreneur.
Just very regular.
Yeah, just a regular, very regular. Just trying to figure shit out right now.
Okay, so entrepreneur. You have a NFT project as well.
Yes.
And am I missing anything?
Well, yeah. I also just like starting my own company in crypto Web3 as well recently. But
okay, cool.
That summarizes it.
But that's intertwined with the NFT company though, right? Or is it like a complete segment?
It's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You can't. I think the NFT project's a little bit more like less serious, and then the company is a little bit more.
I see.
Yeah.
And Aditya actually just got back from Thailand from like a month-long trip.
Lady boy.
No, Thailand's definitely a great place to be. I was actually very, very surprised and impressed when I went there.
And you went there for the Web3 project? Is that correct?
Yeah, well, company. Like, so we basically quit my job in April and then went to Thailand for a month to find myself. And then also like we had the rest of our team come, and so we just all four of us got a condo and we were just working there for a month.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. So, which part of Thailand? Is it Bangkok?
Yeah, we were in Bangkok for a month, and then we also visited like Phuket for a little bit.
Okay,
like, team vacation. Yeah.
So, other than finding yourself, what else did you find in Thailand?
Found a lot of different type of people. Some more unusual than others. But overall, super fun. I think Thailand in general, very, very like respectful country. Everyone's like super nice, and infrastructure is good, food's good.
It wasn't your first time going though, right? Like you've been before?
Second time, yeah. But first time was like mostly for vacation. This time I was actually living there. It was like kind of a different experience.
Yeah. Which experience did you prefer over the other?
Definitely the second. So I think one of like my biggest regrets like in life has been doing a study abroad. You did a study abroad in college, right?
It was more like volunteer abroad as opposed to study.
Yeah, but it was like life-changing for you in a way, right? Like you basically...
Yeah, because I went to Thailand way back, and I tried to get y'all to go, and then y'all never wanted to go with me, so I was like, fuck it, I'll go by myself.
I didn't want to do anything in college. I think after... Like, college, I was still very much in my shell. And
yeah, I feel like you didn't really open up as much until afterwards, yeah?
I think after college, I really, like, started doing stuff and, like, being my own person. But I think... I guess the issue was, like, born and raised in Georgia, went to school in Georgia, and then... You kind of get in this like thing of like sticking with what everyone else is doing, and then it wasn't until like COVID where I like basically was like, I don't want to live like the rest of my life this way, and started to like take really like big leaps of like random changes.
Was it because like you all cooped up in your house during like the COVID?
Yeah, I think it was that, and then also like just being like COVID was a very like I think that's like a once in a lifetime or once every 3 like it's like a super big event that like the entire world like affected like World War II. Like in that sense that everyone in the world had this like issue that they were dealing with.
Yeah.
And then it made me realize that like I don't really want to live my life just like being down the same path that like is figured out for me. And so that's why I started taking like pretty big changes, trying to change it up and probably like move and like even for you wanted to get out of Georgia just because you've been here your whole life.
I've been trying to preach that for the longest time.
Yeah, but like similarly, I was in that same thing. I was like, I just want to experience different cultures and experience different people. And I think like being in Georgia, like I was just exposed to the same people, and I wanted to like really break out of that shell in a sense.
Was there any like one single event during COVID that made you like finally pull that trigger?
Yeah. So I was working at like my first job out of college, and during COVID, like it was in consulting. They weren't selling like that much work, and so they put me on a project where I was basically processing PPP loans from like 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., 12 hours a day for 4 days a week, and it was the most depressing thing. And I was like, yeah, this sucks. Like and then at that point I was like, okay, I need to get another job. And I was like, instead of just like applying to jobs in Georgia, I was applying to jobs in the entire country, and then ended up getting something in New York.
So you weren't specifically looking to move to New York per se?
No, I was mainly just trying to switch my job because I was like, fuck processing PPP loans, and ended up like wanting to at least experience another state.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, just applying to jobs all over the country.
Did you catch any like PPP scams?
Yeah, a lot. Like there was, dude, some businesses had like 3 or 4 employees, and they're like showing like a couple million in revenue, and they were asking for like 500. So PPP loans were used to basically pay your employees.
Yeah.
Like, it was to keep people employed, even if your revenue is 0. At least you can like pay your employees. And these businesses would report like tons of, like they would ask for tons of money, and they would not have that many employees. But there was like PPP was so easy for people to get. Like there were so many scams that came out of it. Like people were like
100%
processing loans on behalf of other businesses or websites that were like stealing information. It was pretty. Like the government lost a lot of money. That's what fueled the bull run. Like PPP, like fucking stimulus checks. When the stimmy hit, like people went crazy. Like I remember like all the memes about
Stimmy was crazy, bro. Because I think I was like selling shoes at that time. And like everyone that I was selling shoes to would use their Stimmy checks to buy all the shoes I was reselling.
Dude, that funded the economy.
It was crazy.
And then we all know how that went.
Yeah, but yeah, I wanted to digress a little bit. So I mentioned that I've known you since college and stuff like that. But like right after we graduated, we didn't keep in touch for like a little bit. And during that time, that's when you started making all those moves and stuff like that, like such as like moving to New York, right? And one of the questions I had for you was, what was the biggest lesson you've learned during your time in New York? Because you spent like 1 to 2 years there?
Yeah, 2 years total.
Yeah.
So I would say, I think like not just moving to New York, but just one of the bigger lessons that I've learned is like get comfortable with the uncomfortable, and just like try to put yourself in situations that you may not entirely like know what the outcome is. And I think like for the longest time, like just traditionally, like growing up in a South Asian household, I was taught to be like very safe and not take a lot of risks. Like even my parents were like, don't go out and do this, or like when it comes to school, like go studying, get a good job, and like, you know, earn income and then like buy a house or whatever. And it was like a very well-defined path, and then getting out of that path is really hard. And part of the influence for that is like my brothers, especially like one of my brothers like lives in SF, and he like went to school there, and he does a lot of stuff that's just like unconventional. Yeah. And he's very successful at it, but I kind of felt like I should try to do some stuff that was like outside of my comfort zone. And like that's the biggest lesson is like I just like even if it's just like a feeling. If something feels right, or if you want to do something, there shouldn't be anything stopping you, and just go out and do it, even if it's like hard or difficult to do.
And would you say he like basically paved the way for you to you know, kind of follow in his footsteps? Because like he went to college in SF, and like really went out and like broke the norms that you guys were in, because like you guys were like in the circle this whole time in Georgia.
Yeah.
And, he kind of, you know, went away from that.
That's a good question. In a way, he did. Like, he kind of proved that it's possible.
Yeah.
And he's like not, like, he's really successful, but he's not like really smart. But he's just like very, No, he is smart, but he's not. He's just very motivated. Like, and he hustles, and he like keeps going at it until he gets it, and he like talks to a lot of people and has a really great group of friends. But he basically proved that like you can get to that position, being at like a disadvantage, intelligence-wise. No, he's not. He's definitely not dumb. He's just like, never mind.
Okay.
But
you mentioned brothers. How many brothers do you have?
I have 2. I'm a triplet, so that's.
This is them.
This is one of them. Ding. One of them. But Trong actually has the pleasure of knowing all of them.
Yeah. Because
and I'm your favorite, right?
dude, by far, dude, by far.
It depends what part of the country he's in.
But yeah, like for me, like I've talked to you before about like wanting to move to New York, right? And I haven't yet pulled the trigger yet. So I feel like for the people out there listening, like, can you walk them through the steps of like what's it like to actually move up there? Because like you have to move all your stuff and like you have to find an apartment and like, you know, get situated with your job and stuff.
Moving sucks. Like absolute worst thing in the world. You have to pay a shit ton of money to movers, spend a lot of time doing it, and so it sucks. Like you have to basically spend 2 to 3 days moving and then also pay people to do it, and so it's like just a giant waste of time and money. But moving to New York was tough. I think inherently New York, or New York City in specific, is like a very interesting place compared to the rest of the world. One, it's like ultra expensive. Like compared to Georgia, it's like 2x price for everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And in Georgia, like when you get a house or apartment, like you have basic things like laundry and AC and all that. Like in New York, having a laundry unit in your apartment it's a luxury. It's literally a luxury.
It is.
That's a flex.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like these people have been living in like the 1950s. Like they don't have central AC. Like you literally have to buy an AC unit for your apartment, and like every place is a shoebox. And so I was like, yeah, that was like a big culture shock. And I actually hated New York for the first year I was there because it was just so different than Georgia. Like I had to sell my car here. Everything was like super expensive. Like people were just different. Like not meaner. Like people think that people in New York are generally meaner, but just like they're more like focused on themselves and they don't take time to like slow down and help other people.
Would you say they're more driven?
Yeah, definitely more driven. But that you have to be. Like you can't not be driven in New York. Otherwise you'll just like not be able to live there.
I think I saw like some crazy statistic, like 1 in 11 people in Manhattan are billionaires.
Millionaires?
Yeah. 1 in 11 or something like that on the island.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, since you lived there, like,
there was definitely wealthy people, and I've met people that have like made crazy amounts of money. I think I don't find that surprising. I just think that like the general type of people there are just like very motivated and driven, and like if you're not, like you'll quickly like get behind. Like you can't chill and relax in New York because like just living there is like super expensive, and so like that's just inherently the thing that's driving you to do well or like work hard.
I didn't know how crazy it was. So I was born in Queens and I lived in a part called Bayside, and it's Queens, but it's more like suburbia, right? But it's only like a 40-minute metro over to the city. But I thought those were like regular prices because I grew up, and I came to Georgia and I was like so happy. But the only bad part was I was like, why do we need to get a car for everyone? Because we had one car for the whole family in New York. Yeah. And then when I came to Georgia, I was like, holy shit, we're rich as fuck. We made it. And then I didn't realize the prices were like half the price. It's fucking crazy.
It's very different lifestyles. Yeah.
Yeah, and the cold sucks. Like
I love the weather.
Really? You're not like a cold weather type
No,
of
dude, I born and raised in Georgia. Like I'm not used to like fucking winter jacket and boots and like freezing my ass off. Like I remember my first like real winter in New York. Yeah. I was going out and like it snowed that night before, and I didn't realize that like the snow doesn't like, it's not hard ground under the snow, and it's like not even. So I was walking in the snow and I just like
you slipped?
Fell. Yeah, no, I
you
fell.
Busted your ass.
I fell face first in the snow.
Yeah. Black ice.
And yeah, I was just like laying there and I was like, yeah, this sucks.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't know why people I get like people shit on Georgia, right?
Okay.
But I think this is a great place to raise kids. But if you're in your early 20s to like early 30s, I understand why you would want to leave Georgia.
Yeah.
But like all in all, Georgia's a pretty nice place to live.
It's great for depending on what you want. Yeah, but I feel like in our 20s, like we're all driven and we're trying to like chase the bag and whatnot.
I agree. I would 100% raise my kids. And, like, settle down in Georgia.
I mean, like, think about it. Like, you get a B average in high school, and you get this scholarship called Hope, and it's 80% of your tuition or some shit.
I had a B average, and I got the Hope Scholarship, so pretty happy with it. But yeah, no, Georgia's great. I think I would. I'm back here for a bit, but I would like raise a family here.
Yeah, I think it's a great investment place too for Georgia, at least.
Yeah, because it's up and coming.
Yeah, I think financially it's a pretty smart move if you want to start a business in Georgia. Because even though right now the real estate is fucking crazy going up, but at the same time you can honestly start a business here for like what 50K, 100K, like a storefront and everything. But if you go to LA, New York, it's like $1 million at least.
Yeah, I would say the cost of like starting a business is fairly low here, and then also the land is cheap, and you just need to have. Like I would say like a good product or a good service, and you could be successful. One of our Phil actually helped someone like start a business like
say hi Phil.
Barber.
What's up? Wait, who?
Jay. He was a felon, and he like.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say I helped him start his business. I think, well, we were like most of us were his clientele, and then I think we helped with his website or some bullshit.
I mean, I remember writing his like review on Noah wrote a review on Yelp for him and whatnot, but it was like there's a lot of like government programs to help you. Like you can get a like SBB loan, small business loan, and you just need the right permits, and then you could.
Yeah, that's true. I think you're trying to kind of emphasize like how he's a felon, and now he has his own shop and shit like that.
So he's a barber.
Yeah.
And
so
how's he doing now?
So our barber, his name is Jay. He got a felony for like killing some crackhead.
It's crazy, bro.
Because he was protecting his baby mama, right? And so he got like some years in jail. He got out and he moved to Georgia and then started cutting hair. Then he finally started his own shop.
I feel like we just went over that a little too like
just too casual.
Nonchalant.
Yeah.
In the last 10 seconds I heard killing crackhead. Now he's, has a barbershop.
Yeah, no, but his baby mama's a stripper too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, dude. He started like I think there's like a Pilates studio next door. So he was a barber, and like
Pilates.
I would go to his place like every 2-3 weeks. So it was super chill, it was super nice. And he had this like lady next to her, like I think it was Pilates or some sort of training thing.
It's Pilates, yeah.
And when we first got there, he's like, "Yeah, she's so fine. Like I really like her. Like I like try to like he like catcalls her or something, like in a playful way." And then like a couple months later, he's like they're like dating and they're like fucking and stuff. And I'm like, wow, what the fuck?
Is that the baby mama? No.
Different chick.
No, he's just got it like that, huh?
Yeah. He's just a hustler, bro.
Yeah, he's. You don't get your hair cut by him anymore, right?
Off the record, no.
Off the record, no. So who do you go get it by then?
So
on the record.
So we all went to a barbershop in Dunwoody, and it was him at that barbershop and this other dude there, and I go to the other dude now.
Damn, you cheating like that?
Does he hit you up ever?
No, dude, he's
adultery.
He's like doing pretty well for himself, so he's like he doesn't really need the clientele. You know what I'm saying? He's not like.
No, but like as a friend, does he ever hit you up like, "Yo, Phil"?
Nah, he's like I think he's too busy with life to be honest.
Yeah.
You want to fade?
He had a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Like, I think he has a kid that's like our age.
Huh?
Yeah, his
like,
kid's like fairly grown.
Wait. So how did you guys meet this guy?
So Phil, I think Phil went to the barbershop first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in like college, and then he just put all of us on, and we started going there.
Yeah, because back then I still had like the
Geno's,
fade.
right?
Yeah.
So
the 2-block with the fade on it.
Yeah, no, because I was trying to find like a barber for the longest time, but like back in high school, my dad would just send me to like fucking great clips or whatever, and they would fuck my shit up. I would show them a picture of what I wanted. I always ended up with like a fucking bowl cut out.
You guys would freak out if you saw what my hair looked like in high school. I had like a lineup with 2 braids like going back here.
You're
and
lying.
I had braids going down. I literally look like fucking.
What? You're like an NBA star?
No, I look like Jaden Smith in the Kung Fu Kid or what? Karate Kid.
Well, we gotta add a pic. Like,
I was like,
Hopefully I find it. But yeah, I literally had braids like this and then a lineup. I thought I was the freshest kid in school. But like my hairline wasn't the greatest, so you know some barbers they do that like paint.
oh,
Where
really?
they like kind of
No,
like.
I can never
had
go to
that
those
shit.
barbers that do the paint thing, bro. Because like
What
that's them
paint
trying to
thing?
fix it up after they fuck up the
What
lineup.
paint thing?
It's like black paint to match your hair. It's like if you to make like a straighter, cleaner lineup.
Yeah, they try
So
to
it's a
fill it
fake
in. If they
hairline.
like fucking make it
So
slightly
like,
crooked.
it's like girls getting fucking their eyebrows tattooed.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah,
it's like
except
that.
for its paint. I thought I was like the freshest kid in school. I look at myself in the mirror after a shower and it's just like dripping down. It doesn't last long.
It's like dripping mascara.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
God damn.
But yeah, back to whatever we were talking about earlier. So since college, I feel like you've worked on like not only at like different companies, but you've started like many different ventures as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I think I've always been entrepreneurship. Like both my parents own their own business, and so I kind of saw that growing up.
Yeah.
Like even in middle school and high school, like I was like selling like RuneScape Gold or like Maple
Oh
Story.
my God, Rune.
Oh, and you were coaching League for a while.
Yeah, coaching League of Legends, like making a little bit of money for that. Nothing like a ton, but just like trying to make money outside of like.
No, but you're
everything
always just
regular.
looking for the next like bag.
Yeah,
To get, you know what I'm saying?
And then in college, it was like reselling clothes. Like I think either you or Chris put us on like Supreme, and then I just remember like being in like MIS or one of these classes and
Just
just
trying to,
like
like-
add a drop and like
Yeah.
trying to cop during class.
Mhm.
That was super fun, and I think it was right before Supreme got like oversaturated
Yeah.
with the drops, and so you could still like hit like a T-shirt or something, and then sell that thing for like double or triple.
It
and
was
so-
Yeezys too, like during that time, like where
Yeah.
Yeezys were
50s
just
and shit.
just came out. It was like
Yeah,
crazy.
we had a lot of fun with it, but then the bots. We should have gotten the botting game earlier. If we got in the botting game early enough, we would have hit it. But we kind of just stuck with these like kind of like
we went full manual the whole time.
full manual.
dude,
but
we were too poor to buy a bot, dude. It
Yeah,
was
no,
like
bots were, like-
2K for a bot.
it was
no,
so
we should have
crazy.
invested in it. I
Yeah.
think we could have like because we were all doing it together. Like we basically
true.
had like yeah, it was literally everyone just buying. We get our friends to buy it. Like yeah, so I guess that was like trying to do business. But then after a while, that got like super saturated and like the drops weren't selling or like it would be much harder. Bots would take over.
Yeah.
And then around college and whatnot, I think I tried to like get into like stock trading and all that.
No, you were on Wall Street Bets, weren't you?
Yeah. I think during COVID, like right when COVID hit, like everything was falling, and I just like bought puts and like ended up making a lot of money, and then lost it all when things started going up again because I was like perma bear. Quit trading or anything like that, and then started this online store for like this other Discord game I was playing. That was super fun because I like set up a Shopify and my own website and like
Oh, like
all
actually,
that.
like you set up a storefront for that Discord game.
It was like a whole process, like just like was experimenting and doing things.
How'd
That
you
was fun.
even get into that?
Dude, I no clue. I think okay. So what happened was in this game there was like rare Pokemon. It was a Pokemon Discord game. There was rare Pokemon, and basically I had found all these old players with these like super rare like golden Pokemon,
Okay.
and I like messaged them on Discord, and I was like, hey, like I see you don't play this game anymore. You have all these Pokemon. Like, can I buy them for you? And they would just sell it to me for like $10, $15, $20. But then I'd realize that these are like super valuable. And so I would just sell the Pokemon for like actual like US dollars.
Uh-huh.
And then I became really rich. I was like one of the richest people in the game through that. But I had a ton of like in-game gold. And so I slowly started selling it. And then I realized that like there was demand. And so I opened up like an online store to do it.
Why'd
I
you
didn't know
stop?
Discord made games.
That's just crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like my
it's
mind's
a
blown.
Discord bot technically.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was actually really well done. There's like honestly, if you can develop a phone game like that and just release it on the App Store, like you can make a ton of money. But it's just Nintendo fucking will.
And was
Yeah.
the game made by Nintendo?
No.
Some random person?
Yeah, but Nintendo can like DMAC or like shut it
Yeah.
down pretty easily, and they would have to.
Wait, so why'd you stop with that game?
Well, the game I got banned in the game because like I pissed off the owner.
Okay.
Then they banned my PayPal account,
Oh.
and so over time I just like slowly started like winding down the store.
So do they have like rules for like real world trading?
Yeah, there's no real world trading. So I had like all these alts, and I had like a bunch of different Discord accounts, and I'd like transfer gold between them. It was it was a pretty
You
like
spoof your IP and everything.
well, you can't track IPs on Discord, but
Uh-huh.
you can track like transfers between accounts, and so I had to like.
Because I did a lot of that, but for MapleStory.
Oh,
Yeah,
you play MapleStory?
I do.
I think every single Asian person I know has played MapleStory
Yeah.
at least
I still play.
once. The new one or
No,
like
no, private servers.
Oh I used to play one of my brothers plays private servers. A lot.
Yeah, I played this one called Maple Royals, and it's like a version 84, like really old one.
Yeah.
But I got banned like 6 times reward trading. But I used to make like $200-300 a month up until like 6 months ago.
Oh.
I just scrolled. So I think like one bill mesos on that server is $15.
No, you said you were trying to build like your own private servers.
Yeah, but I realized how. So I got invited to this like Discord group of like some like owners of private servers.
Yeah.
And then there's like a sell and buy part of the Discord, and I was like, oh, what are they selling? So they're selling code, and they teach you how to like, because I guess like adding new jobs and other stuff to it requires like different codes, and not a lot of people know how to do it. So they're like, okay, we're selling how to like make this server on version 84, and the price for like 30,000, 50,000. But I realized how much money the owners are fucking making off.
Yeah, no, they're making a shit because all the in-game content goes to them. So they're
Yeah,
literally
it's insane.
leveraging someone else's code to. It's actually very, very lucrative, but it's a lot of work. Like you're literally
Yeah, it's
you
like
have
a
to have
full-time job.
servers,
Yeah.
like moderators, all that stuff.
No, it's fucking nuts. And like you can like buy to have like dono stuff, and like buy to get like specific like items they created. And then I was like, I wonder who's like doing this. And every time, okay, I spent a lot of money on this private server.
How much we talking? How much we talking?
I mean, like I at least like 3,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And every time I PayPal, I'm like, what it is? It's all Chinese. It's all Chinese. I'm like, damn, they got us again.
The private service and whatnot, like that's like very similar to like what made like Web3 and crypto communities popular as well as like these niche. Online.
Even Minecraft servers, they make millions off that.
It's. I think Ayush definitely does play private service still. You should probably talk to him.
Like
Maybe
one
plays
of
the same one.
one of the members of the Sidemen of KSI's group,
Yeah.
he had a Minecraft private server, a Minecraft server that he had, right?
Yeah.
And they found out how much money he made off it, and off that server he profited $3 million.
You're lying.
No,
What?
yeah, it blew up like as a clip. There, it was like they were playing this game, on James Corden, where like you can answer the question or you have to eat something disgusting.
Yeah.
And they asked him, they're like, how much money have you made off your Minecraft server? He was like, $2-3 million. Isn't that fucking nuts?
That's fucking crazy.
It's
bro.
nuts.
Yeah.
I believe it. Video games are becoming more and more popular for people to spend money on.
I mean,
mobile
Steam
games.
is a perfect gateway to legally gamble, like Counter-Strike stuff.
Oh yeah, with all
Yeah.
like the different crates and the skins for like the.
And they have a
the
whole
knives and stuff.
market.
Yeah.
And then they made like a bunch of gambling websites for your skins.
Wait, did you ever play like CS:GO and stuff like that?
Yeah. I played CS:GO a bit. I was ass, but it was still fun. I think I've played video games my whole life, just figuring out like which ones that are fun and then which ones my friends are playing.
Yeah.
Played League a lot. CS:GO, Valorant was popular. Played a lot of RuneScape, like some MapleStory as well, like with my brothers. Like everything was like very like close with my brothers. Like we would play video games together.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really play that much anymore. Mostly like phone games. So like there's a game called Wild Rift. It's like a
Wild
Rift.
league
Mobile, like,
version. So I
league?
play that like very occasionally, and then
Yeah.
Brawl Stars, which is another.
Are you're still hooked on Brawl Stars?
I'm not hooked, but I play.
You were
Brawl
addicted.
Stars. What do you do in
Um,
Brawl Stars?
It's like another mobile like. Wow, how would you describe it?
It's like a.
It's a MOBA, right?
Yeah, it's a mobile game. Like 2 to 3 minute games, like super quickly, like player versus player, or like team versus team.
It's like similar to like Wild Rift, but then they have different games like soccer and stuff like that.
But
right?
the biggest thing of fucking Brawl Stars is like 3 minute games is super quick. So anytime like I'm not doing anything, I'm like if I'm in an Uber or something, I like whip that shit out and I start playing.
He's addicted.
And the only game on my phone that I always have is that thing where like you slide and you have to hit the ball to try to get, and it starts breaking all the squares when you hit the sphere.
What was it,
with this
Pong?
move? It's
Oh
like,
no! I
No,
know.
no,
you know what you're talking.
Old, super old phone games had this too. It was
Yeah.
like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I
I
know the name
love
of
that shit. I live for that shit.
Okay, so let's talk a bit more about your like Web3 journey now. How did you even get into it?
Yeah. So, okay.
Because you've been in the scene for how long now?
I've known about crypto for like quite a while. So the way I got in was in college, actually, I was playing a lot of poker.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember with like Jose and all.
You were so addicted to
yeah.
online poker, bro.
So basically, there was this like through RuneScape. RuneScape, there's a lot of gambling as well, and so I was playing a little bit of RuneScape. They had just released like OSRS, so there's a lot of people playing. Basically, there's like gambling websites where you basically take your gold and then deposit it on the website so you can play poker with other people. And when you cash out and sell your RuneScape gold, like basically the payment methods, like PayPal is like not really global, but Bitcoin and ETH was, and so you would take payment in crypto. So I had a Coinbase account, and so I would just like basically use it as a way of like getting funds online. I actually had a lot of Bitcoin, but then unfortunately just like sold it for cash and then spent the cash.
How much Bitcoin are we talking?
No, just a couple. But it was like, had I held it for a couple more years, it would have been like
nuts,
substantial.
right?
I kind of like stopped using crypto for a while. And then like around actually during COVID, like because I gamed a lot, like crypto gaming or Web3 gaming was getting huge. Like there was like people making millions of dollars like through Axie Infinity or some of
I
these
heard
other
about
games.
that, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Like I'm a good gamer. Let me play this. But all crypto Web3 games are like a Ponzi scam. Like they're just like, you basically like earn, like pay a lot of money and basically like, it's like a fucking like job. Like you literally like, I don't know how to describe it, but I lost
No, you
a
have
lot
to
of money.
pay to even start playing.
Yeah, you have to pay this and thousands of dollars, and like people are way richer and they have way more money and way more time than you, and so
It's pay to win.
yeah, ended up losing like probably I put like 10K in, lost all of that.
Oh my god.
Was depressed for quite a while.
Wait, was the 10K into that horse racing game on ETH?
Zenrun. Oh my god, dude.
Oh, I remember
So
that.
I was playing this horse racing game, and then I got my brothers to give me money so I can buy horses, and then I got them to buy horses, and that game was awful because you could breed two horses together and then make another horse.
No, because you know how people in real life bet on like
Kentucky
equestrian
Derby.
racing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like
but
a
it's like
derby
that
game.
one, but online.
Yeah.
There's online derby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a really cool concept, but the issue was that these people had these like super fast fucking horses and they bred them like a bunch of times, and I got like some not so great ones.
Because it's like Pokemon. Like, each horse has their own like stats. Like they'll have like certain.
Yeah.
Wait, why do I kind of remember this? Like this blew up. People bought these horses with.
Yeah, the horses were going for like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
It was nuts.
yeah. I never figured out if that like went through or not, but I guess like they actually played that, huh?
Yeah. It was. I tried to get in the game. I like did a lot of research. Like, just ended up losing a lot of money, but got kind of hooked into crypto Web3, and then since then I've kind of just been interested in the space.
So that was your gateway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real gateway, not the fake ID.
Yeah.
RuneScape gold stuff.
Okay.
And then through that, I think like we as a generation have just gone through so many like changes with technology, and I'm a firm believer that like Web3 or crypto is going to bring this like next wave of innovation and like new technology, like similar to what AI is doing. But I think there's a lot of like similarities between the two.
Wait. So when did you notice or catch on to that trend early on? Because would you identify yourself as like an early adopter?
I mean, we're still early in a way, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've had Bitcoin at like $100, $150. So I've been in like, I've known about it for a while, but when it comes to adoption, it was like probably like 2020 was the first year that I really spent a lot of time in it. And I think that was the top, because after that, like I remember like ETH being at like 4,000, Solana being at like 200, 250.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been downhill since then. But the technology actually improves continuously over the last couple of years. Like,
regardless
it
of
keeps
price.
getting better and better. And so that's why I'm more excited to see what the next 5-10 years hold, rather than focusing so much on the short term.
Mm-hmm. And so what made you finally pull the trigger on like starting your own project?
So
company?
Like Web3 crypto, because it's like this new thing, there's so much room to basically have an idea and go pursue it.
Yeah.
The interesting part about the space, it's like all pseudo-anonymized, and so like you're known by like your wallet address or your Discord ID or your Twitter ID, and so no one actually knows who you are in person, and so you in a way have this like ecosystem that you can build anything that your heart tells you. Like no one knows about your past, no one knows who you are, and I think for a lot of people that's like a very like enticing opportunity. And then the other thing is like there's an opportunity to make a lot of money, just because like crypto Web3 is like super speculative, and so things go up like you've heard of like Pepe or
Yeah,
Bonk
yeah,
or
yeah.
Doge, people making like 1,000x or 100x their money, like
Overnight too.
That in of itself is a very powerful, like enticing thing for a lot of people because they want to get rich quickly. And so crypto provides those opportunities. And so in that sense, it's like a lot of different people come to the space. But for me, it was really like being the possibility of like building something interesting that I could like put my name behind. And then I think it goes with the story of like my parents having their own business and like me constantly like looking for ways that I can kind of like do things outside of work to keep myself engaged. The only thing was like finding something that I was like willing to work 24/7 on because my whole life like work has always felt like work. And so,
But this stuff felt more fun for you.
yeah, more fun meeting people. I go to conferences and whatnot around the world, and I think meeting people and whatnot has been a big driver in like keeping me grounded. Like, hey, this is something that I think is going to really have a lot of potential in the future.
I see. Are you able to disclose how much you've profited or like made at one point in
Made and lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
So
crypto?
I would say, okay, so don't get me wrong. Like money is like a very big motivator, but if it's the sole motivator for you to do something, then that's probably not the right fit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like last year, like at the kind of peak of wherever I hit, like it was close to $1 million.
How close are we talking?
Like very close, but
Okay.
it's much lower. Like it went down. Like I didn't trade properly, but I
yeah.
should
Ever
have.
since then, it went down a lot.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I should have taken more profit. I should have traded better. Like a lot of the like crypto investments, like FTX, I lost like a good bit of money. Like when Luna or like those like
You
that
were
kind
in
of
all of
crash
those?
happened. Yeah, I actually had a like. Unfortunately, it was just like lesson after lesson of like being more safe and conservative with the money. But
Yeah.
I think in that sense, it was like somehow getting there made it possible. Because before I was like, oh, I don't think I'll ever get there for like the next 5-6 years. But
I see.
then each time you get more conservative and safer and take better bets. It's all about like risk management. At the end of the day, like don't over leverage
Yeah.
yourself. And the other piece is like you want to survive. Because if you can't survive, you're out. And so in that sense, like be able to like next time this happens, like eventually there's going to be a bull market. Like I'll just have that approach of like taking more profit, being more conservative, and then also being more like you want to be more intentful with the bets that you take. And so you don't want to like you want to have a thesis behind it and stick with it. And so you don't want to like constantly just listen to other people or you get swayed by opinions or price movement.
And do you feel like you wouldn't have learned this lesson unless you went and like
Yeah.
went through those experiences and
Well,
mistakes?
the first lesson was like when the stock market crashed and I actually made like a substantial amount of money and like lost it all again.
Yeah.
But I lost so much money that I was like completely out of commission. And had I even taken like 20-30% profit, I would have been in a much better position.
Yeah, for sure.
But because I was basically leveraging myself over and over again, like it was basically like the casino. And so that lesson was like basically survive. That was my first lesson, survive. This time it's like take more profit. Like on the way up. And like there's a way to trade and like way to make moves without giving up a lot of your upside and still being able to benefit from
Like your gains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one example is like if let's say you buy something at a certain price, you could sell like 50% at like a price target and then keep the rest of the 50% or get out of your cost base and just keep it, let it
keep running, right?
Yeah. And so there's things like that you have to like train your mind to get a hold of. The issue is like a lot of people have like what they call like bag biases. And so like you'll have a certain thesis or belief and it causes you to like lose sight or focus of like being able to trade properly. And so you end up holding something like if let's say you buy like a coin or like a NFT or something, you hit a 10x. Like in your mind, that's like insane. Like you just made 10x your money.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, it can go up 20x.
Or
But
maybe
for it to go
1,000x.
10x to 20x, it's much harder, but it's much easier for it to go back down because so many people have like made on the trade. But if you're like excited about it, or if you're on fucking Twitter or Discord and everyone's like, this is gonna go higher, you get in this like echo chamber.
Yeah, no, 'cause I feel like because you're in a market where like it's so volatile, like you said, and like you have the potential to make so much money overnight. Sometimes it can feel unreal. Like money doesn't like you lose your value of money, and like greed plays a huge part, right?
Yes.
Because like sometimes you'll be like, yo, like I need more, and that you feel like you're never satiated. So after a certain point, like it's not until you lose all that you are able to have some takeaway after this.
Yeah, I mean, you hit on a couple of good points. One is like the dopamine of like, it's effectively like when people look at it and their kind of happiness or their hit, their kind of gratification comes from making more money. That's like a very dangerous philosophy because you tend to get in these cycles of wanting to make more and more money.
Yeah.
And you will eventually lose it all. The second thing that you hit on was the part of it not feeling like real money. Because like all these currencies are like online, you're like, it's like a casino where once you have the chips in, those chips don't feel like dollar bills. But if the dollar bills are there and you're giving 100 or 25 every time, like that feels much more real.
For sure.
And so that disconnect causes you to like not think of it as like actual money that you can like go buy something with. Both very dangerous.
Oh, for sure.
I haven't made enough money to think like that.
No, but I feel like even then, like I feel like you can share like similar sentiments because you were gambling basically in like MapleStory with Mesos, right?
And I did slot machines here.
In like real life slot machines?
Yeah, real life slot machines.
Slot machines are the worst. They're the worst.
Yeah, so I had a couple stores here, so we had slot machines, and it was the most tiring thing ever because I like opened a store like 11 a.m. right? I don't know why I did that because I know most of my players don't come in at 11 a.m. So well they'll leave at 11 a.m. Like the women, yeah, I feel like women they love gambling way more than men.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Most of my customers were all women.
Huh.
They like slot machines.
Slot machines. I
think women like the kind of slow play or strategy.
Yeah.
Like men are just like blackjack fucking 50-50 or hit.
Yeah, so this lady who will come in, she's like in her 50s, 60s. She's a retired lawyer. And she put in like $2,000 into one of her machines once and she won 30, right? And I was like, fuck, like I'm gonna have to pay this like lady out $30,000. So I went to the bank, told everyone what happened. That was on my team, and we gave her $30,000, right?
Okay.
And then this older guy that helped us like set this place up, he was like, yo, don't even worry about it. And I was like, why? And he goes, call me back tomorrow. That lady ended up putting all $30,000 into the machine back again.
What the fuck did he say?
Huh?
What the fuck did he say?
No, he was like, just like, don't worry, because I guess he already knew. He was like, oh, she's gonna put it back in. They always do.
Yeah.
They always do.
The casino, every single dollar you bet in a casino, the casino gets 50 cents of that. It's
Holy
like some
shit.
crazy, like they basically, the casino earns that in their thing because you put that money over and over again. So the casino can basically bet out to like $1 billion and you don't have, like $1,000 you want to bet. And
That's
so
why they say like the house
win.
always wins in the end.
The house will always win.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. But in my lifetime, I haven't gambled much. Like I gamble very small if I do gamble on vacation and stuff, but all time I'm up. But it's only like $20 that I'm up.
Yeah, but you're still up though.
Yeah.
Wait, that reminds me. It's so funny you bring up gambling because I remember we went to New Orleans. Aditya and I went to New Orleans. This man walks up the blackjack table, bets his $20 and doubles it, and then walks out the casino.
Dude, no, that was because Chris had never been to a casino before, and I was like, I wasn't trying to gamble. I wanted to play it, but like, I don't know when, because it was my second time, and I was like, you guys didn't know what was going on, and I was like, all right, so we like sit at a table. One of them is like $20 minimum. I just like look at her, put the money down, and then like she looks at me like, because there's like certain like there's like rapport and there's like certain manners that you like when you go. There's like you have to do certain things. I didn't know any of that. So I put the $20 down, and then like the card hits, and then I just like look at it. I'm like hit, and then she looks at me, hit, and then I don't know why I won the hand, and I just like cash out, grab the money and run.
So you paid for the Uber there,
No.
and the Uber back.
I don't remember how we got there, but it was that in of itself, like being able to like that dopamine of like doubling money is like super fun. But yeah, now I gamble more and lose more and
Speaking of losing, you talked about how much money you've made. What's the most amount of money you've lost at once?
So like the most money, like within a period of 2 weeks, I lost like 75% of my like net worth.
How much is that?
It was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, jeez.
That's fucking crazy.
But
I would have moved back to Georgia.
I don't. Well, it was tough. The reason, I guess if we take a step back, like when I was like trading stocks, I lost like 35K in one day, and that sucked a lot more. Like I was literally in bed for a lot.
That's a brand new Honda Civic.
Yeah, but that basically like paved way for me to like experience these sort of losses. And for me, it goes back to I was trading stocks just to get money out of it. There was no like central thesis behind it. So like when I'm like in crypto and Web3 and like trading or like doing things to kind of like increase my holdings, I have like thesis or certain ideas behind it that are much more like supported than before.
Yeah.
And so like when FTX happened, like Solana is like an ecosystem that I'm like very, very ingrained in. When FTX happened, like Solana was like affected quite a bit. And so the price of the entire ecosystem went down like 70%.
Jeez.
And so because I was so invested in there, like that was where most of my money was tied up. But I knew that the ecosystem itself was going to survive and bounce back and whatnot. And it eventually did. It's back to around pre-FTX levels. But that period was tough, but it wasn't anything that I couldn't stomach just because I was like still super like bullish on like the ecosystem in general. And for me, it's not really like short term what's happening in the next 3 to 6 months. I'm looking at it from like a year perspective, like next 5 years. And so in that sense, it was fine. I think what he said is also true. Like I never had this money in like US dollars. This is all like tied up in crypto. And so I don't ever I don't withdraw money from crypto and like buy stuff with it.
If I make like close to $1 million, I would just take it all out just to see what it looks like in cash.
No, but after you do that, you get taxed half.
Yeah, you have to pay like all that in tax, like 500K. In tax.
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean you can leave the country. That's the thing. Like crypto's all
leaving the country. FTX.
Yeah, I mean you can literally go to like China or like Thailand or something and like just withdraw some money and like.
No, but there are tax advantage like countries with like certain like better tax laws in terms of crypto. Right?
Dubai.
Yeah, it was Portugal for a while.
No, Portugal fucked its entire.
What, Switzerland?
I don't know too much about Switzerland.
Yeah. There are countries that are like more crypto friendly.
No, it's Puerto Rico for a while too. That's why Logan Paul and like all those like giant celebrities.
I
like,
just remember watching all these TikToks and YouTube shorts of like the guy who like created FTX, and everyone's like figuring out, okay, this guy says he has 150 grand left in his bank account. How far can we take him? So every video is like them plotting like exactly how much money he would have to spend to get to different countries.
What?
He's like 75,000 for this boat ride, 25,000. He has 50 grand left. He in Indonesia, that's like $1 million. He can do whatever he wants.
Oh shit!
But I don't know where he is now.
He used it all.
Huh?
Probably used it all.
I think like 2021, 2020, a little bit of 2022 was like when everyone was like Dogecoin was going up. Like I had friends.
That's the one crypto I invested in and made money. I've never invested in any kind of crypto or stocks, but Doge was one of them. Yeah.
People lost a lot of money too, and I think that hurt the trust with the space as well. But at least it got people interested in it, and now everyone just thinks it's a scam.
I mean, Elon's still out here like changing like the Twitter logo to like the Doge face. Dude.
Yeah.
Well, what was the whole reason Doge went down after SNL? What was the reasoning?
I don't know. I don't really.
Yeah, I didn't follow that one too closely.
Oh, I mean, like it crashed after. So everyone, it was going straight up just because like they announced like Doge is gonna be a part of the SNL show where Elon is coming out, and then Elon mentioned the show ends. It went from 75 cents back to like 23 cents.
Oh no, but generally like a principle that you hear a lot is like you buy on the rumor and you sell on the news. So like whenever like it makes it to that public news, like people are starting to dump like so they can like make profit.
Dump before.
That shit was crazy. My dad lost a lot of money.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But even that Doge went up like 1,000x in like a matter of a couple months. Like at that point, so many people are up. They're waiting for something to sell. Like you don't want to. You don't want to get caught. Like you have to be conservative with these things, or like at least sell some of your bag if you're up. Like if you're up 3x, like get out of your cost basis.
Yeah. So I got out like I bought it at like 19 cents, sold it at 75 cents. That's it, right? But there's this like YouTube guy. He drives that like old ass car, and then he something. His YouTube name is like Doge something. But he had like millions of dollars of Doge, and he never ended up selling any of it.
So it all tanked.
So I think he put in like $250,000. Right now his Doge is like 190 grand or something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was at his peak and everyone's like, yo, just sell. You have millions of dollars. He's like, no, trust me. This is going to the moon.
That's the thing with greed, man.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
And he
bro.
still makes YouTube videos on Dogecoin. And I'm like, bro, it's dead.
Yeah. Huh. You know what I always admired about you?
Aw.
I feel I feel like
You
you're
tell.
able to like always catch on to things early on, and you're always really quick at hopping in and not being like too speculative and then like standing on the outside. Like you always like identify like whatever you like, and you just like hop straight into it.
Thank you. First, I think anything that interests me, I think I just like want to live my life without having any regrets.
Yeah.
And like,
YOLO.
yeah, literally, like if you, because I don't want to be like 35, 40, 50 and just be like, oh, I wish I would have done that. Like, why not just go do it?
No, I'm the same way as you, and that's why like I feel like we get along fairly well because of that.
Yeah.
But what's it called? What do you think your biggest strength is?
That's a good question. Biggest strength, I think similar to that. I think I don't really think too much before I go do something. It's just like like you said, like I think being open and not having too many like preconceived notions about something, and then being open to like learning and whatnot. And being like, I think when people get in this certain like thing, they like to be comfortable and they like to kind of make sure things are going well.
Yeah.
But they aren't open to feedback or kind of being humble. And so I don't mind starting at zero.
Okay.
Again. Like I literally did. Like when I quit my job, I'm like technically unemployed right now. And I would say that I worked really hard over the last couple of years to get to where I was, to be able to like afford to live in New York and have a good life. And I like basically left that all behind these last couple of months to go start back at zero and try again.
That's another thing too. Like you're never afraid to fail. Like I feel like a lot of people like let that fear dictate how they live their lives, and like because of that, they're not allowed. They don't allow themselves to start a lot of things that they do want to partake in. But yeah,
I think I've just like failed so much in my life. Like even in like high school, like I would take AP classes and like get like C's and stuff on them, and like not obviously do well as my other friends, but
yeah.
Like I was not ranked that high. I think I was like ranked like 300 out of 500, which was like fairly low for like both my brothers, like much higher than me. Even in college, I think I would take only 12 hours a semester and like wasn't really like, I guess
12 hours of class for a whole semester?
Yeah, like basically like I remember, I think even in sophomore year, I did like only Tuesday, Thursday classes.
Yeah.
And I would basically have Monday through.
No, Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday off.
Yeah.
So you had like a 4-day weekend. But in college, like you break each class down into like time blocks. So each class would be like around like 3 to 4 hours worth, like per week.
So block schedule.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like coding and stuff, like we like Phil and I took a class together. And I think I got like a 0 or something.
Oh, dude, I remember that.
On
Wait,
exam.
what?
We were questioning our like fucking existence.
Dude, I felt like I think Phil was like taking it way worse than me, to be honest. But
I think we're dealing with it equally the same.
What class was this for?
It was Java.
it's Java with
Oh.
Srinivasan.
Yeah, so we both took the fucking exam and got zeros, and we're like, holy shit.
Yeah, we're like we're really stupid. Like I was just like, this is like maybe this isn't for us. But you actually like beast it out. Phil beast it out in that class, and then I remember like taking the final exam, and like Phil kind of like helped me, and I was like, okay, this is.
No, Phil's a tank, bro. Like he was always the one like helping me with those classes and stuff like that. I'll be like, yo, I don't understand. Like this shit don't
Do
make
we
sense to me.
partner up on like an assignment together, or like some?
Dude, we partnered with so many things I don't remember.
Yeah, that was fun. But to your point, like just failed over and over again, and at that point, I was like, well, it doesn't matter. Like I'll just try again.
Okay, given that though, what do you think your biggest weakness is? Because like, would you consider that like a double-edged sword?
Yeah,
because you're
I
not
mean,
afraid?
I think weakness-wise, I'll get like in
Diamond
and
hands?
that's huh?
Diamond hands.
Toilet hands?
No, I think I'll get like insecure about certain stuff, like and like not feel like I'm good enough, or like get demotivated if
So like imposter syndrome or what?
yeah, imposter syndrome or something. And I feel like I could be more open to like one thing that I'm working a lot on is like being able to like go to an event by myself and be friends and be talkative and whatnot. Like there's like some sort of like social anxiety I still have when it comes to some of those things.
How do you get yourself out of that mindset though? Because I feel like you do that fairly often.
Alcohol.
Is that what it is? It loosens up everything.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
just couple
kids.
Whoa.
But yeah, no, alcohol helps a lot with that. Just like loosening the thing, but also just like mindset, right? Like you have to. It's okay what people think about you and whatnot.
No, okay. I feel like I can relate to you in that sense because I went to NFT NYC with you, and like when I was first trying to like meet and network with all these people, I would just be staring at HB. I'm like, yo, how the fuck do I do this? I'm like fucking like shaking and like sweating like nervously, and then like he was like, yo, stop being a fucking bitch. Like we're here for a reason. We spent so much money on this like fucking like conference. Like we gotta like, you know, have some takeaway after this. So I was like, yo, give me a second. I went to the bar. I slammed like 4 shots. I came back. I was like, yo, let's fucking go.
What do you own? Are you a whale?
Yeah, and I think another thing too, like similar with mindset, it was like I just realized that everyone, like regardless of how much money they make, they're all just humans. So I was like, yo, like I just need to, you know, converse with them as human beings, and like, you know, from there, like if it leads to anywhere else, it'll be great. But yeah, dude, shit.
Yeah, social anxiety is something that I've been actively trying to work on.
Mm-hmm.
But going to in-person events definitely the best way to network and make friends.
How many events have you been to now? Because you've been to like a lot since you were living in New York for a bit.
Yeah, well, I would say New York in general was like a hub for like, well, one, the benefit of living in New York is like there's like a community for everything, all the way from like if you like music to EDM to crypto or whatever. And so in that sense, like they were having events like on a weekly basis, and so I just try to go to ones that seemed interesting. And then I've been to a couple conferences which are a little bit more involved. Like went to Breakpoint last year, which was in Lisbon for like a week and a half. Took off work and just went to a conference.
What was that like? Because I feel like you didn't even explore Portugal at all, right? Because like you were so.
Yeah, no, I was working. I was basically just like trying to network and meet people and whatnot. But again, like taking a bet or investment into yourself, like for doing these things, because they are like even like someone like NFT NYC for you was an expense, but you basically did it to like grow and learn from it. And so that was the same kind of mindset I had for these conferences like that are outside of the US at least.
Sorry, I zoned out a little bit. Okay, so after at the current stage you're at right now, do you feel like you have any regrets? Because like you mentioned earlier that you try to live a life without regrets.
Yeah, I would say I have a couple of regrets. Like one is like I 100% should have studied abroad in college. Like anyone out there in college, like please go study abroad.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're gonna have to take like an extra class or like spend more money or doing something. Like there's very few times that you can go for a period of like 3 to 6 months with like random people and like just go experience a different culture. So that's one thing that I like still regret to this day.
But you do a lot more of it now, so.
Well, just started recently. Like Thailand was that first trip I took.
Can you dive a little bit more into Thailand? Like, cause you said you went there for your Web3 company and like.
So for my company, 2 of our co-founders are from Hong Kong, and it's hard to get like visas for the U.S. And so Thailand was like a good central location to go.
Yeah.
Not to mention it's like really cheap and the food's good. And so we got like like kind of like a condo, like 4 bedroom because there's 4 of us. And the whole goal was basically like, I'd never met these people in my life. And so I was like, okay, if we're going to like basically start this company together, like I want to meet you guys in person and see what you guys are like. And then we also like have like our raise for like funding coming up in the next couple of weeks. And so I wanted that month for us to spend together and work. And so basically got everyone to book tickets to Thailand, got this apartment condo thing. And then we were just there for a month. And it was like the month passed by super quickly. It was like super fun. I've worked with these people for the last year, and so I've known about them, but I just never met them face to face. They're really cool. Overall, like very, very enjoyable trip. So much that I like want to continue to like get more experiences like that with my team.
I see. Okay. And I'm not sure if you mentioned this or I heard it from our other friend Noah because he went with you on the trip, right?
Yeah.
He said like one of your investors met up with you guys over there too.
One of our investors met us
over in Thailand. So.
Oh, right. So basically, one of the coolest parts about like Web3 crypto is it's like global.
Yeah.
And so you basically, once you're in here, you can have friends that are like live around the world. And so we did meet up with some people that are like in the same kind of ecosystem and like we went out with them and stuff, and it was quite interesting. Like they're just like the kind of craziest part is like you literally in your circles. I was actually reading about this, like there was a Twitter thread about this, but in your life, your economic value is tied to your circle. And so the people that are in your circle or your connections are effectively your economic value or what you're able to get out of it. Mm-hmm. The kind of cool thing about crypto Web3 is like it increases your economic circles in the entire world of like what groups and networks you're in. Okay. And so like these people I would have never known, met, ever talked to in my entire life had I not been into crypto Web3. And so met this one person that like she has her own game and she's like building it and whatnot. And she lives in Thailand. She was from Australia. Like was telling us about like the places to visit and go and stuff. Like we went out with her one day. Met this other guy that like he also had his own project, but in like he's like very very well connected in Thailand. Works with like all the big malls and whatnot. Like 35, like has a wife and like a kid. Yeah. Like we went to we just got dinner together and it was like super fun, like just learning about these people's lives because it's like so interesting, and then like kind of the crypto Web3 part connects you. And so I think that's what he was referring to.
I see. Okay.
But really cool is like meeting people like you just like now you have people that you know in these different parts of the world, and I think that's really.
Yeah. What was the craziest thing you did in Thailand?
Craziest thing we did in Thailand?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Let me think.
Because like you always hear these stories of people going to Thailand and like they, because it's like the party capital of like Asia, if you will.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything like super crazy. Like generally, like played it pretty conservative. Like your
I would
portfolio? Say that like we went out a lot. Like we'd go to like bars and clubs, and like that was like really fun because like we'd all just get like super drunk, and then like.
What was the craziest club you went to then?
They have some really interesting clubs. So the way that the clubs work in Thailand is, well, one, sex tourism is big in Thailand, and so
yeah,
I think it's the third largest driving thing for their economy.
Oh yeah.
And so a lot of people around the world go to Thailand for very specific reasons, and there's parts of the country that cater to that, and so there's like bars and clubs that are literally like labeled as like these like sex tourism
like
areas.
a red light district.
Yeah, red light districts. Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. And so they have them in like different towns around Thailand. And the type of people you see there are quite interesting.
How so? What do you mean?
Well, usually just like older men from like all the way from like India, China, the U.S., like
Texas.
It's like it's like really random. Like there's this town called Pattaya.
Yeah.
It's like a beach town. And literally like you'll walk on the street and like most of the people you see are like white men with like Thai women. And it's just like this crazy dichotomy. You're like, what the fuck? Like, why is this exist there? But the entire economy caters to that there. And so we basically went through the motions of going to these like red light districts because we didn't know what to do. So we would like ask other people. They tell us to go here. And then we realized that it's like very focused towards like the sex tourism.
Yeah.
And then we over time started getting more and more into like the local clubbing and bar scenes. And those were like really fun.
No, but I hear like in the red light districts in Thailand, like it's a bit in the more sketchy area of Thailand,
yeah,
right?
I mean, okay, Thailand in general is fairly safe.
Okay.
Like people will take advantage of you if you're like intoxicated, but you're not going to get like robbed or anything. Like I felt way safer in Thailand than in New York.
Except for when you lost your phone.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I did lose my phone in Thailand, but that was my own doing. I just got very, very drunk and.
So did you have to buy a new phone in Thailand?
Yeah, so so anyone that like has an iPhone, like please get Apple theft and loss care. Like not an advertisement, but like I basically lost my phone and I like submitted a claim online, and I think it's $10 a month, and they like shipped a new phone back to my house in Atlanta, and I think it was like $150 deductible.
Oh wow!
And so I got the phone within like a couple days, but in Thailand they couldn't ship it, so I actually like bought a phone at the Apple store and then just like returned it before I left.
Oh wow!
Oh, what? You could do that?
I didn't even know you could do that.
2 week return policy.
Oh yeah. That's
like
right.
they took it back, but I had to travel without a phone, which was like.
What is that like? Because I feel like we're so used to having our phones on us all the time.
I printed out my boarding pass. Like I was like, at the gate early. I was looking on the fucking board for my gates and shit. Like it was just like literally couldn't talk to anyone because you're just addicted to Wi-Fi.
It's like you went back to like the Stone Age for a second.
Yeah, dude. I
You had your
tripping.
laptop at least, right?
Yeah. I had my laptop, and I mean, like that was fine, but it was just like not having a phone is like I would constantly just check my pocket, like where's my phone,
Yeah.
like because you're just like so used to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I had to obviously get a ride from the airport back home, and that was like a little tough coordinating as well.
Connecting to Hartsfield's Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Yeah, but Apple also shout out again, like FaceTime and iMessage like work on like Wi-Fi, and so you don't really need a number to do all that. So I was able to still communicate with most of my friends and family.
Okay. Wait, did you eat any crazy foods over in Thailand? Because you know how like they always have like this like frozen.
Thailand food is like really good, and they have
Yeah.
like so it's because it's close to like India and also like most Southeast Asian countries. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of fusion food.
Mhm.
But yeah, like we had like this whole fish, and like it was like there's a lot of seafood and whatnot, and so like we went to this like restaurant that they just like literally like will like cook a crab, and it's like on this plate.
Do you eat any of those like fried bugs, like the scorpions or like anything?
There's this one part that they had like an alligator and like fried. Yeah, they had bugs and stuff, but
Yeah.
no,
You got scared?
I would not. I just like.
I mean, like we eat bugs.
We
Like
do?
in Korea, well, I eat
Oh,
bugs.
I
In
was like,
Korea,
we?
there's stuff called like bundegi.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, you should just said that.
Yeah. Alligator tail isn't too bad. Frog legs taste like chicken.
Alligators taste like chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up vegetarian, so that's a little far fetched to me to kind of get over there. But start with like chicken, then
Then the grasshopper.
yeah, no, probably not. They had crickets. They actually had crickets that you could eat.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they eat fried crickets down here in the south too. I'm pretty sure, like fried crickets.
I mean, I
It
believe
comes
it.
in like packs and boxes and stuff. People just
Yeah, they put like Taki seasoning or like hot Cheetos.
have you had fried crickets out here?
No, I'm just lying. But
I was gonna say,
I'm almost
like,
positive
he's
that-
from New York, and he's like talking about the South. I'm like, yo, we grew up here. Like, I've never.
You guys have
fried
never
crickets.
had fried crickets in a box?
no, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Maybe
Yeah.
I shouldn't have
You
eaten
have
them.
What?
Huh?
What is it like? Like, what's the?
Yeah, honestly, like they're seasoned, right?
Okay.
So I mean, it didn't really taste
Like
much
chips?
like chips. Yeah,
Because it's crunchy too, right?
Yeah,
It's like a,
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have chips.
No, no, but what you don't want cricket chips?
No, definitely not.
Oh, okay. So, what has been your favorite part of your journey so far?
Like life.
Just overall, yeah, because like like through
money,
like, high
the
school,
bitches,
college,
the
yeah,
fame.
Because you've done a lot. And I feel like you've
No,
experienced
no
a lot at
bitches,
this point.
no money, no fame. Favorite part.
Yeah.
I think definitely has just been the new experiences that I've just like never known about.
Okay.
Like I still go to a lot of like music festivals and whatnot, and like try to like travel a little bit, but just
Yeah.
like visiting a new place and like learning about the culture, like doing something really interesting. Like Thailand, at least for me, was like so many different things that I just never experienced.
Mhm.
And like I think that in of itself is like super fun. I mean, you tend, like, I think out of most of my friends down in Georgia, like you tend to have like you were like you traveled a lot, or you kind of did some, you fucking went to like Mount Kilimanjaro or some shit.
Yeah.
And like hike that shit.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, like those new experiences, I think are like very exciting. And so just like trying to fill my like life with as many of those. And then also like, I think like going on the path less traveled, like just trying to figure stuff out. Like you can't Google these things. I mean, ChatGPT might be able to help.
Nah, even then, like I tried,
Yeah.
it hasn't really helped much, bro.
But you just figure shit out. Like if you get like dropped or like I lost my phone, whatever. But then I had to like, there was no one that was gonna come and fucking help me. Like I just had to like figure out like how to live my life with that shit.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, like I just basically decided to go do something and not really knowing what to expect. And then most of the time, I'm like pleasantly surprised by like how much I enjoy it or like what I learned from it.
Okay. And then what's it called? How are we doing on time right now?
Like hour and 9 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I have one
For an
more.
hour?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it goes by fast. It goes by.
I have
really
one more
fast.
question for you. I don't know if you have anything to follow up with, but what's it called? My question is, would you consider yourself successful right now?
That's also a good question. I think success in general is a measure of like what what kind of guidelines you have for yourself, like I would say for me, success is measured by like how happy I am.
Okay.
And like how much I'm like on this kind of like path of like being able to constantly learn and figure things out and stuff. And so in that sense, I'm like very like I'm like in a very good spot in my life compared to like where I was like a couple years ago or even before that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that in that sense, like I would consider myself successful because I am enjoying in my life and I'm excited to kind of like wake up every day and like go do things. And so that for me is success is like being able to enjoy life. And then like it wasn't always like that for me, and it took a really long time to get to this point. But in that sense, like I think I'm like very, very happy with like the way things are going. And obviously like there's certain parts of like life that you know you get caught up in, but in the most sense, like most of it is like really fun and enjoyable, and I'm excited.
I see.
And a failure.
Shit, god damn it. But yeah, my follow-up question to that would be like, what would be your single greatest success, I guess?
Achievement?
Yeah, single greatest achievement so far. But like, and I feel like you would follow up with something along the lines of you are continually able to like be on that pursuit of like happiness.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like achievement-wise, like growing up in like this sort of setting, especially like as a triplet in this sort of household, like very competitive, and like I always had this sense of like feeling lost and like not good enough. And I think that was like really hard to get out of because it's you grow up with this framework of like, and I think like most Asian people experience very similar things where they always feel like they have to like do things to please their parents and make them proud, and like do things, and like you get compared like as a kid, and like even middle school and high school, I get compared to my like friends and family all the time, like oh, your grades aren't high enough or you're not doing this, and like you'd always have this like insecurity of like I'm not good enough.
It's crazier when you have like two other triplets that you have to compete with, right?
My parents were good about not making us competitive with them, but they were always comparing us to like other people, and that's it's not their fault. You just kind of like see it. Like my parents would like have our family friends or some shit. Like they'd get like do well in school, or they'd like do this thing. My mom was like, "Why can't you do that?" I'm like, I don't know, Mom. Maybe because I don't fucking want to. But but in that sense, like you always have this like back of your mind. You have this like insecurity of like I'm like not constantly not good enough, and like getting out of that is really hard because you have to fundamentally change the way that you think and approach life. And so in that sense, I think my greatest achievement or success has been to pull myself like out of that mindset and like go down something that I am proud of and that's mine and that I can say that I've done. Because for a lot of people that I know, like they're still stuck in that same mindset of like pleasing their parents and going down that path. And I think for me, it may not be the right fit for everyone, but I was really focused on like wanting to live life the way I wanted to live it.
Because I feel like that mindset of like always trying to please your parents, well, not just your parents, but like other people, it's like it can be a slippery slope at times, right?
Yeah. I mean, because you're not living your life. You're living someone else's life who's told you to. Like, we had friends in college whose parents literally would like disown them if they like didn't become a doctor or an engineer. Yeah. And, like not even talk to them. And I'm so thankful my parents are like supportive, because if my parents were not supportive, it would be like much tougher. Like I quit my job like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago and didn't really have any income coming in. So I like called my parents. I was like, hey, can I like come move in with you guys for a bit? And they were like really open to that. So I'm like very blessed to like be in that position where I have parents that support me. Yeah. But if they didn't, like I would be in a much, much worse spot, because then like it's much harder to kind of do the things that I'm able to do without that.
But you would still be pursuing it regardless.
Yeah.
Even though it's a bit tougher.
But it would be much harder. So I'm saying like having parents that support and understand their kids, no matter like what they do, is like, I think really, really great. And I like when I have kids, I'm going to like pass on that kind of same approach to them. Because you've seen like kids with parents, like helicopter parents, or, you know, that are just like unhappy. Like, why the fuck would you like get mad at your kids for like not like doing something that they don't want to do? Like,
yeah.
Daniel.
You hearing this shit, Dad?
Shit. Well, if anything, that's all I got for today. And I think we're hitting like the hour mark right now. So, I mean, do you have anything?
No, I feel like I've learned more than wanting to ask today.
Oh.
I've just been soaking it all in. It's
Oh,
my
shit.
first.
Wait, did you show the camera your chain yet? Like your
Oh
cra-
yeah,
you're
yeah.
crazy.
So bitches. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm a
before we
virgin.
close out, do you have any like thing you want to plug or like like any like final remarks?
Apple.
I think nothing to plug. Like, thank you so much for having this podcast. I think for the listeners, like me, Philip, and Phil have been friends for the better part of the last like 6 to 7 years, and it's kind of interesting because like over the years we've we don't talk sometimes, and then we'll have periods where we talk like a lot.
Yeah.
But Philip in general has always been like interested in trying new things, and I think part of that's like this podcast, and I think he's like I'm just super excited to be here, and like thank you for having me, but
Yeah.
also like wish you the best of luck and success with this, because I think you're gonna turn this into something.
Levity coin coming
Yeah.
soon.
Levity podcast, or is it Levity?
Yeah.
Okay,
Levity.
yeah, on top. But yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Hopefully it was interesting. If not,
No,
I'm
it was
sorry.
great. I think I had a great time.
Okay, well.
Yeah. But yeah, with that, we're the Levity Podcast, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.